Alright, I think I'm live here. Let me get out the other side. Let's wait a minute. Takes a minute. Live here. You're still getting used to the Streamlabs, but it's looking good. Hey, Winky, how you doing, sweetheart? Listening to some of your stuff and watching some of your videos. And let me tell you, Winky, you got some talent, girl. You got some talent. How you doing, Valerie? I need a little bit of pep. Hey, sweet pineapple, Jen, how are you? Who else we got here? McFly, hello from Earth. Yeah. All right, let's start things off with a little bit of pep here today, huh? All right, we need a little bit of a fight song cheer here. That's what we need today to get my. You know, Mondays are always like, Yeah, you really got some good voice stuff, Winky. I'm really glad. You should promote yourself a little bit more, honey. If you guys create content, I see RV radio out here, other people. How you doing, Nathan? Thank you. The white top on today. Always a pleasure to see you. Shamaj, how are you? Quinny. Yeah, let's put a little pep in our step today, huh? Let's get ready to. Let's take me back to 1968. In the great city of Baltimore, Queen City of the Patapsco River. Here we go, guys. Huh? Let's have a little bit of fun today, huh? Crank that baby up.
When you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers. Baseball fight for a Baltimore score. Defensemen, forwards, and goalies will win without a doubt. For Baltimore and Maryland, every Clipper fan will
everybody
fight, win.
Every time they score the goal, baby.
When you Clippers from Baltimore.
Hey, Diane.
Fight you Baltimore Clippers.
Now let's take it up a half step.
Score.
Man, that place would go crazy, man. They'd be throwing hot dogs and shit on the ice. Cups of beer, peanuts. We'll win without a doubt. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Jessica. Let me just get you fired up. Baltimore Civic Center, 1968, riot time. You have to risk your life to go to the game.
When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers, and score.
Oh man, what a way to start the show. That might be the new unofficial theme to get things rocking and rolling. Look at me, man. I came in dicked out, low energy here. And I'll tell you what, it just fires you up. The good old days. Shamaz, I visited my family in Glen Burnie, Maryland over the weekend. My nephew and his wife live in Baltimore. It just gets your Monday started off right. Aloha, Colleen. Good morning to, you should say good morning. Yes, it is in Hawaii. It is, what is it, 1:02, I don't know, 10:02 a.m. Hawaii time. So Hawaii does not observe daylight savings time. It's really interesting. I'll tell you guys, the joys of being a cheapskate and growing up in a cheap-ass town, and the sports teams, I don't even know if they have that anymore. Hey, Lulu, you would get... you know, for young people to kind of turn them onto the game, get them the hell out of the house and things, they would have like, you could go to 10 Oriole games, 10 Clippers games. Clippers were minor league, American Hockey League hockey. Still, it was a lot of fun. I think at that time it was the southernmost city that messed around with ice hockey, but it never got that big. But it was a lot of fun till it just became too dangerous to go downtown to the Civic Center. But what a hoot! Somebody was by the window over there. Yeah, I think Missy Jenn's creeping around the property. She's, she's always carrying. On the property, Kowana, how you doing, honey? Another knock it out of the park from your #1 fan, who is me. How you doing, Sean? I just love what you do, Kowana. I love the spirit that you bring to your channel. It's just, whenever I feel a little bit blue, I can always click on your channel and really feel like I'm part of your family. Hey, Jasmine, how are you? You're going to the burning of the zoo. What is that? Zozobra in Santa Fe this Friday. That sounds cool, Jessica. Get your bikini top on and take pics. Because the word I had about Jessica Jennifer, yeah, what a doll. Let's see what's going on today. I'm always happy to see Jasmine Star, Valerie Looney, Lonnie, I hope I said that right, up in Northern Ireland. Cool. That's what we call Bushmills country up there. Bushmills. Yeah, Kawana's teaching me how to cook. She's teaching me how to be upbeat and bubbly, and she's really got her stuff together. Brandon, good morning, Brandon. Really, you don't want Elvis to come to the Rancho, do you, by showing him all the work? Elvis and work is like oil and water. Well, is it fair? Hey, Johnny Watt, is it unfair? Hey, I'm 61 years old. I play much younger. Missy Jenn is partially able. And, climbing ladders, doing this and that, there comes a point where, if you fall off the ladder when you're 25 years old or something, it's different than if the old bat goes off the ladder. You never know what's going to happen. Oh, enjoying the quiet before the school bus arrives. I'm not talking, there's nothing that I would ask anybody to do on the Rancho that I've not done myself here. And I've drywalled entire ceilings by myself, okay? And you can see the video, one woman drywall ceiling technique. I mean, a lot of people have enjoyed that, okay? There's nothing I've poured mortar for shower beds. I've done plumbing. I rewired, replumbed the house, did everything around that. The stuff that I would expect to be done here, yeah, nothing's free in this world, Diane. It's like, if there's a quid pro quo, I help you out, you help me. And it works out good. Hey, Matt and Eric, how are you? In the interim, and as I said yesterday, hey, Kimberly, good afternoon. The trip home was terrible. It was the worst trip I ever had back from Vegas. Don't you think it would be smarter for all to put his money and you to put your efforts in a newer class? Well, I can talk about that a little bit. Bella Rose, the Queen of Buffalo. Nice to see you, honey. Always awesome to see you. Hope Brad's doing well. Yeah, I'm going to do a separate stream on the levels of build. We have to really be... Hey, Sister Earth, how are you today, honey? Thank you, Quinny. I get by okay. I mean, if it seems to me if you grow up, I don't want to say dirt poor, but if you grow up poor, you really learn, you observe and you watch how people scramble to do things. I can never remember growing up with 11 people in the house. I can never remember a time of a service guy ever being called in. I don't care whether a washing machine broke down. Do your wash. Real Baltimore, I know. Should I play the fight song again? Growing up in Baltimore, baby. Growing up in Baltimore. I'm inside your brain. You and Missy Jenn are in the plans to try to get him a newer van. like I said, I'd be perfectly willing. Hi, Ginger. How you doing, sweetie? I'd be perfectly willing to make a decent offer on that band. I would trick the damn thing out and make it a pleasure palace, right? Rosie's Pleasure Palace, and go meet some of these fine, lovely ladies on the road, and give them 120 minutes in the Pleasure Palace. That's what I would do. Send RV stuff to my house. He truly expects us to pay for everything. You know, some people will no doubt send stuff, McFly. I think sometimes we get into these hangouts, and I know I enjoy listening to Colleen and a lot of her hangouts, especially when she had Hop Frog on. But there are divergences of opinion out there, but there's a lot of people, it's like a whack-a-mole game. They're not going to stick their heads up if they think that they're going to get whacked. So I just want to say, I just want to put that out there, that it happens. Now, you know, as Colleen, everybody knows where we are, 759 Dutton Avenue, Santa Rosa, 95407. You can see it on Google Earth. It's a good sized property. But it requires a lot of upkeep here. And there's, as I've always said, there's always something to be done. Still don't call anyone in because my husband, yeah, it's a good thing, Kimberly. Yeah, Hot Frog was good, you know, and I think I don't always agree with everything that Colleen says, but I can appreciate her putting on a good show, and that's what I say. I'm not gonna diss anybody for having a difference of opinion about things. And if you can't take that, if you're going to be all butthurt because people are saying stuff, I mean, YouTube is probably not for you. You know, it's probably, hey, Kitten Cat, how you doing? It's probably not for you. I do occasionally remove comments. I rarely did it. I did two this morning. You know, sort of magnifying what Elvis did when he showed up shirtless on Holly's panel and started slowly panning down the camera. Oh my goodness, he had his dick in his hand and all that. Come on, man. I reviewed and watched. Okay? The only thing I saw was a big hairy belly. That's all I saw. And if you're going to put a link out, you know, if you're going to have a link out there for StreamYard or whatever, somebody's going to hit the link. Hey, you know who's in the green room. You know it's probably going to turn into the Elvis show. So, you know, you have to understand that that's the thing. But as far as, I'm going to have factual stuff on here. I'm not going to have things that are, you know, blown out of proportion. That's why we have so many problems. Hey, Andes, hello from the Philippines. Simply Judith. Judith, are you retired in the Philippines? Military? That's what I say, Kimberly. I got to be straight down the line with stuff. I mean, if he ever did something like that, it would probably come down on, you know, he probably himself would be terminated on YouTube. It's just, you know, it's all about attention-seeking behavior, which he gets on the daily, okay? Which I get on the daily, too. I mean, that's just the fact of where we are with things that are going on now. Yeah, Jen. Yeah, Winky gives me a lot of, I've started following people. If you guys are doing content, put yourselves out there. Let people know, okay? I mean, I feel I've been deprived of Winky. Winky, are you doing anything on the weekend? We could do voices together, right? Oh, man. I'm right in your wheelhouse, baby. The old bat right here for you, huh? Some people, I don't know what the old saying, some people never grow up, some people grow older, something like that. Not doing anything here. I mean, what a lovely gal. There's so many lovely people. I see Ginger out here, beautiful gal. So many people, my sweetheart Jen, and speaking of which, I think I took care of the mods that wanted to participate. and tip out your mod for August. I really appreciate you guys. Why do I do that? Sometimes I'll hear people in other chats, and not everybody participates, okay? But monitoring, Monique, how you doing, my love? But when I'm doing my chat streams, especially street streams, and of course things are going to really be picking up. There's a lot of people hit the streams. The views show that. And it's a hell of a lot of work for these people. You know, you get people trying to come in and post links and some outrageous kind of stuff here. And I don't have a ton. You can see on this side, I don't run with a lot of moderators. But the one, how you doing, Carla? But the ones that I run with, they really work their fannies off here to keep the chat good. And they rarely time anybody out. Rarely. And they rarely give anybody. My boot list stays pretty much the same all the time, and that's a good thing. Okay, people will give you the benefit of the doubt if they think that you have a good card. There's a ton of people that are on Elvis's chat that probably ghost the chat here. And I'm kind of grateful for that. I really am. But I like to keep the core of, how you doing, Mr. Z? I like to keep the core of mods very small. Typically, a channel will start to do live streams. They may not have any wrenches at all, and pretty soon they discover that they need to have a wrench to keep some basic control. And then things start to build, and well, I should have a wrench. I'll answer that in a minute, McFly. Just copy that and repaste that question in a minute. Let me just finish this. Then there's pressure on wrenches. And most people, like, I don't want a wrench when I go in. My personal preference is to not have a wrench. Okay. I don't want to feel like I'm above anybody else. Particularly, I don't really go in Elvis's side chats. I really don't go into a ton of side chats these days. But when your mods are there, when I'm on the streets of Vegas at 2 a.m. in the morning and it's 5 o'clock on the East Coast, and I got one or two that are still in there battling, knocking out heads, because it gets a little crazy. People come into a stream when there's cops, you know, when they're showing on the live, and you'll get all kinds of people piling. How you doing, Diane? I really firmly believe, and then let me just finish, and then you'll get to the point streaming, you'll increase your wrenches, and then there'll come a day where everybody gets wrenched. Okay, where everybody gets a wrench. All right, the problem with that is when you hand somebody a wrench, not only do they have the power to remove and block people on your chat, and let me tell you, it's a pain in the ass when you're on mobile or out in the field to unblock people. They also have the power to remove comments. And I witnessed myself about 8 months ago that just a vast army just swept through and wiped out tons of comments and things. And tried to actually reshape the messages and the comments on the streams and on the videos. And I thought, ooh. See, I got mods that don't do that. I got mods that have their own internal chat here, which you know, it's like I don't, that's kind of their, I call it playground there. I try to stay the hell out of there, right? Kind of just stay out of the chat room there. But there's a lot of stuff. Don't think that they're here just to protect me. They're here to keep the chat flowing and to keep people pretty much on key about what's going on here. And they often express their dismay about the things I do in life. And I like that. I like that. The people I associate with, they're not here. And as I always told my moderators, you don't have to agree with what I do. Your function is to run the chat and keep it going. I mentioned to you that comments had been gone poof back when. Yeah, I noticed that, Kitten Cat. That's one reason I decided to restructure. Because when you look at a video, and Kitten Cat will tell you, I'm not one to remove comments or filters. This morning I took 2 out. That was a red letter day here. I let people have their say on the channel. As long as you're not cursing, as long as you're not doxing people out or doing things like that. Yeah, Kim says, I don't need a ranch. I respect you. And yeah, that's right. You should feel good in here. How you doing, Hipster? Yeah, having a wrench is it's not a fun thing for me. I don't enjoy having a wrench on people's chats. Because inevitably things will blow up and people get mad. But if you have a good steady core of mods like I have here, I believe that they contribute to the channel's success here. And I'm proud. I'm not going to sit here like Elvis and bloviate about views and how much I'm getting on a current view. I'm on YouTube to have fun. The money's great. The support's great when it comes in. But I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm here to have a great time, and I'm here to enjoy my exploring years after working 46 years to go out there and to see the world and share it with you guys. There's nothing more fun than sharing with people. I cannot be a solo traveler, okay? Times I am a solo traveler. You guys are my traveling companions. I see Joe Smith there. How are you? Mouse Toes. Another great mod. I've admitted that. I own that. I'm not a person that does well by myself. I'm a person that loves the company. I love to meet people. I love the concept of streaming houses. I was the first one who talked about it on here, bringing it over from the CX. Some other people put it into place. I'd like to have my own crack at the streaming house. No, YouTube is not my sole income. I derive a small pension from the Sutter Medical Group, Sutter Medical and Hospital Groups of California. And I do some other work on the side right now for the Las Vegas Valley Health Authority. Okay. Yeah, hard work, hard work. So, just to finish on the mods, they're a big part of the success of this channel. I see somebody like Mouse Toes that I met in the prepping community. Got a great head on her shoulders. In my opinion, has a wonderful channel that does some good content, and I encourage you to sub up to her. Check her out, Canning. And I know sometimes she'd like to take a mason jar and just whack me upside the head. But it's people like her, people like Ginger, people like Oda, people like Nicole, JK NoCal. I know Juice goes off the rails. I know sometimes my juice goes off the reservation a bit, but I'll tell you what. You cannot discard people that have always had your back in life. I can't control what people do on other channels, on other hangouts. But as far as here, I appreciate Juice being my moderator. Okay, and I plan on continuing to keep him as my moderator. I put blinders on when it comes to the other chats. Yeah, I don't always like every single comment that the juicer puts on. But think about this. When you've known somebody almost 5 years on YouTube and they've always stood by you. And I had a chance to observe Juice in many, 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 many chats and in many, many other streams and things. And when a topic gets around to Rosie, which it inevitably always does, whether it's Rosie the enabler, Rosie the clown, Rosie the would-be adult entertainment actress, you know, Juice stands up for me. And that's a very, very rare commodity here on YouTube. Some of my other moderators, Tom Finland, who didn't even expect to have a wrench in his hand, but I think a lot of Tom Finland. and the things that he does. Kim C. Jen, one of my favorites, Jen. So when I earn monthly income, I don't feel I can sleep at night when, the super chat's binging off and we're on the streets and people are having a great time. And hey Rosie, love you. Here's $50. Blah blah, $25. And I think to myself, there's my moderator sitting there doing their job. And I just decided to be the first and only one, and that's fine. That's what I wanted to do. They wanted to make the mods more a part of the financial success of the channel. I don't think that's a bad thing to do. And like I say, half of them participate, half don't. I don't speak out on who does or who doesn't. But I'm saying I think it's a nice thing, and it keeps things really cool on the channel. Okay, Rosie, here you go, Rosie. In your opinion, do you think Dave the Fishman is washed up on YouTube? Did his wife destroy him? Just curious about your opinion. I've met Dave multiple times, apart from meeting Elvis. He was the first. I was the first person he, except for Blue Waffles, I think, met on YouTube. And I had the distinction of being somebody that got on well with Dave. Number one, I got a real thick skin, and of course Dave and I came from the worst possible background. Anybody remember the anybody? Yeah, I think it's a good thing to have a mod recognition day. How you doing, Winky? Ash, how are you, sweetie pie? Nice to see you. Ash the Antichrist. When Dave first came on the scene, I was the one that stood up for Elvis. When the tide was all, oh man, here's where Elvis gets his comeuppance in late 2017, early 2018. We had the whole Lacey Rocks thing, Mike the Millionaire and all that. And I truly believe, yeah, the Alamo, all that bullshit was my way of standing up for Marshall and saying, hey, look, in my opinion only, if you want to take somebody out on YouTube, take it out by the rules and conditions of the game. Don't go off of the game board and try a chargeback scheme. Make a lot of donations, then charge them all back in the expectation that the money's been spent. The PayPal goes into the negative, your AdSense account is terminated, and therefore if you're in it for the money, it's gone. On paper, it sounds like a good plan. Okay. I just didn't think that was the right thing to do. But instead of slurking and lurking and twerking in the background there, I came out and I opposed Dave publicly about doing that. Okay? But over time, as I got to know Dave a little bit and we started communicating, I'd go on his panel and he would roast me. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And I tried to explain the way I feel about it. And we're talking about a lot of history, almost 2 years of history here. I was with Elvis when his donations were coming in. That's the time we got kicked out of the Bellagio, and he's walking around Fremont Street, and Lacey Rocks is, confront him in person. That's what I'm saying. I mean, everybody has a different take. But there are some things that I think are dark about Dave too, and I'll get to them in a minute. Okay, this is kind of off the topic. McFly, I've got a lot of respect for you, so I'm going to answer your question as thoroughly as I can. Thank you for the new sub up. I'm going to answer your question as thoroughly as I can. After appearing on Dave's panels month in and month out, he kind of gave some grudging respect to me that I would stand up for somebody in the community, even somebody as down on the totem pole as Elvis. And like I said, we'd been kicked out of the Bellagio. We're going around Fremont Street, walking around everywhere. Every 5 minutes, donations are coming in from Lacey Rocks and blah. It's crazy. And of course, he turns to me, see, Rosie, you just don't matter in life. You're always going to be a peon to the king. Which I don't, which I think is funny as hell, right? Other people get up. I mean, I can see the laughs and the humor of YouTube. You should have smacked him. See, Oda May, well, he would have been. Hey, Elvis would have had a camera deeply, his camera, cell phone, deeply embedded in his ear if it had been Oda May. But I have the ability to laugh. I have the ability to derive humor about stuff like that. And pretty soon, I think, and I got accused of doxing Dave out. And in the interest of full disclosure, I knew who Dave was about 2 months before the rest of the community did, but I did not dox him out. Okay? The first person that connected the dots for me was Jeremy Hopper. Okay? He was the first one that connected the dots for me. But I didn't put the name, I didn't put any information out about that, okay? Number one, Hopper undoubtedly, and I have respect for Jeremy Hopper, I do. Okay, Hopper's a brilliant guy. I'm not going to get into all the wherewithals of his doxing and everything, but I'm going to say, he would write me and say, it's like the movie 100 or whatever. It's like 1 against 100. And here's something that can help you level up the playing field. Well, I never pulled that card. Yeah. I got to know Dave. Yeah, I'm not happy. See, I don't know the Sandy, the ins and outs and that, but let me just proceed with the story. Because this will probably be the most thorough and complete telling story on YouTube. Now, at the time, if you're anti-Elvis, it's very easy to gather a crew of people around you, which Dave did. You had Zamfir, you had Awesome Hooker. Now, that whole summer of 2018, I'm conspicuous by my absence on Dave's summer panels. I never went on his summer panels, okay? Because I didn't agree with what the people were doing, and I've always been one that kind of rails against that bullying mentality of 100 against 1. I don't know. Just growing up in Baltimore and being kind of a street fighter, it always kind of stuck in my craw a little bit. And they were doing shenanigans through the summer on the panels and in the back and things. And I didn't choose to be a part of that stuff. So I never went on any of those summer panels. So I can literally tell Dave, there's nothing from me in green rooms. There's nothing, no text, anything that I ever did, you're fully free to put out, because I always watch what I say. And I never hung around green rooms and that kind of crap. By the time it came to the end of the year, Dave had very courteously, our connection wasn't that good at that time, but he sent a gift to Jen and I. Can't even remember what it was that he sent at that time. Can't remember. And we reciprocated. I sent him an Iowa Hawkeyes football flag and some other stuff. And we started to get along pretty good. Okay, and then it came to the point when I kind of pre-announced, when Dave said he's coming to California and visiting in January of 2019. I really felt in my heart, and I still feel today, that if somebody's traveling to see me and they seem to be of good spirit and I don't have to worry about being physically assaulted, because at that time, I frankly at that time didn't even know if I would get my head knocked off when I showed up at Dave's. So the first night I went solo in there, I thought, well, if the shit's going to come down at the hotel, ain't no way I'm going to have Missy Jenn around. Went into the hotel. Becca's there. Sophia, Dave. Okay. Dave did not look like a well person. Okay, to me. He looked ashen gray. He looked very skinny. He was walking with the pronounced, not crazy limp, but he had a slight limp to him. And for the rest of the time, as soon as we cleared the air, and he told me, I don't like some of the shit you did, and I said, Dave, I don't like a lot of the stuff that you do, to be honest with you. And we talked frankly about things. And when it came down to things like cancer or medical issues and stuff like that, it's Dave just said, I didn't ask to be shown anything. For me, I don't think it's ever my business. I'm very reticent to I'm the least nosy person on YouTube. Never pulled a background check. Never looked into anybody's life, nothing. Okay, I'm not a nosy person. And he just said, look, Rosie, either believe it or you don't. I judge the guy, I look at the guy, and obviously he's got some medical issues. Now, my mother died of ovarian cancer. My stepmother died of stomach cancer. Okay, my grandfather died of lung cancer. All right, I'm very familiar with the ravages of cancer. Okay? And I'm putting it out there, lovely. I'm just putting it out there honestly. I feel very awkward when I press people about medical conditions because I tend to be a person that believes what people say first until it's absolutely proven otherwise. Things about dialysis, I don't know. I saw Dave check his blood when I was down in the Las Vegas house, which made me to believe with the one step, that he deals with diabetes. So where do I draw the line between what's true and what's not? We recently had a case of somebody I was pretty friendly with here on YouTube that evidently faked cervical cancer. I mean, there are some people that are very needy for attention, and that I believe is the most extreme card that you can play is the medical card, and particularly the cancer card. But I stay out. I tend to say, from that point on, I take my relationship with Dave. After that point, we got along pretty good. Not to the point that we were yuck friendly and all that. I rarely went on panels even, and he'd stop by my side chats. And I know it's going to really piss some people off, but we've enjoyed a good relationship here on YouTube. Now, is he happy about my friendship with Elvis? No. I'll get the text messages, what, WTF question mark once in a while. But I think Dave sees in my heart, and he knows that I try to look past to try to just thread the needle of vision a little bit and see the person that's inside of him. Well, I think Dave kind of accepted that. Now, I can't control what Dave does. We had the streaming house in Las Vegas. People have pumped me dry for information. What was it like in there? What was Kat like? What was Vegas Barbie like? What was the mood like? What was Deb the RN like? What was Simon like? And I have to come up with my usual boring babble. Hey, I had a good time. Everybody was pretty chill. I mean, that's not going to get you booked at the Lincoln Center of Drama. You know what I'm saying? Right? How you doing, Dawn? I mean, that's not going to get you top billing, right? At the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't, Kit and Kat. You did not ask. So, like, I'm boring when I meet you if you're cool and we're chill. I had the whole limousine gate thing I had to live through, why I didn't choose to meet them on the street and all that. And they pretty much nailed it on the head. I'm a pretty stubborn person. I think one of the what would I say? One of the prerogatives of being older is you get to be stuck in your ways. Okay? And when I'm out on a chooch, I don't like to deviate from my plan. That's on me. I apologize for that. As it turned out, it was a drunken sort of bacchanal anyway, and that's okay. How you doing, Kenko? There are a lot of lonely people here. The natural tendency, I think, sometimes when you're on social media is to, instead of letting videos, accomplishments, projects, cooking, sewing, speak for itself on your videos, I think some people lead very lonely existence here on YouTube, and they seek to be liked in the community, and unfortunately in our society, wealth or perceptions of wealth, sometimes horrific medical conditions can often be seen as the gateway to some attention on YouTube. Okay? I think the only place that Dave, and I continue to be a friend, we don't talk too much, Dave and I might text a bit, he stops by my side chats. But I think assuming that throwing money around would impress people down here, I think that's kind of a fail down here. I think people think that might be a little gauche, it might be a little bit day class to do something like that. To usually in society, the people that have the money, they like to keep. How you doing, Uber? Thank you, sweetie. They like to keep their wealth situation under wraps. They don't like to let it be known. There's a great book called The Millionaire Next Door. I suggest you read it. About people that you would never believe that might be a millionaire next door to you, and you would never even know it. Now, coming into this year, I've felt very sad. I knew I donated to Stickers Electric Bill Fund, I guess we'll call it. I hired him to do some work to design a channel intro for the channel, which he did for me, paid him. He was grateful for that. I got along with it. Stickers hated my guts. He was the one that, him and Jack Sparrow did their little celebration videos when my channel was terminated, which was brought back again, the same channel. Had such a hard on to celebrate that. I got over that kind of stuff though. Stickers thought I struck his channel. Anybody that knows me knows I don't strike a channel on YouTube. I can stand up to parodies, the abuse, the people that their first weapon to pull out is a harsh curse word. Call you the C word, the B word, F you. To me that's just grabbing. That's just screaming low class when you do that. But nonetheless, I don't have any, Jack Sparrow does his thing, and that's fine. I wish him and Lisa the best. I've never really had an issue. Do I think he's as good as people say? No. Do I think he's as bad as other people say? No. I think he's right in that great middle with everybody else. But I appreciate that he puts an opinion out on things. So we come into 2019 with Dave. And I was really saddened by the whole Becca Stickers situation. Number one, I was shocked, as many of you were, that he came out as gay on Nicole Green's chat and introduced his boyfriend. I rode over that hump. Ooh, I didn't see that speed bump coming. I'm there like this. Jen. Boy, you're not going to believe it. Don't tell me about YouTube stuff. You'll want to know about this. How you doing, Johnny? Yeah, poor communication skills if everything has to be a FU, a C, a B, and all that. You just don't know how to effectively communicate to people. You could have knocked my ass over with a feather. Now, people ask me in the Vegas streaming house, Rosie, you're kind of a dimwit, but maybe you observe something down there besides tromping around in your teeny weeny bikini in the pool and all. Did you ever notice anything between Stickers and Becca? Or did you ever notice any strain between Dave and Becca? And I would have to honestly say no. You know, I didn't notice anything out of the unusual from the time that I had met them back in January at the DoubleTree presidential suite down there. I really didn't notice anything different in their relationship. I genuinely felt hurt for Dave. Okay. Because originally when Becca would, but I know she's not going to mind me telling because it's the truth, and I've never shared any of our own messages. But the one theme that came clear for her all the time, that she pounded on again and again, is I want Dave on YouTube to have fun. I don't like a lot of the fuckery and stuff that he does, but he's dying. He's battling a terminal illness, and I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to the end with him. So I was very disheartened. You know, after opening his home and treating Stickers like that, to me, I felt it was like one of the biggest slaps in the face that you could ever give another human being. Now, this is just a roundabout way, McFly, of answering my question. Do I think that Dave is done on YouTube? No, I do not. Do I have any factual information on that? No, I do not. It's just a gut feel. Only because people come into the community. Hey, J Money. People come into the community and they tend to stick like it's fly paper here. They don't tend to leave. That's the power, the ugly or the beautiful power of Boyd is it's an ever circling vortex that just sucks more and more communities and people into it. And some people are like, oh my God, this is the best fucking thing I've ever seen on YouTube. And other people are just horrified by the stuff that goes on down here. And I have to admit it's compelling. And what makes it really compelling is, for right or wrong, people will fuck with you in real life. I don't care what the drama community says. They can't hold a candle to the shit that goes on to the boy. That's going on with the boy. Okay, this is a community that slash and burn right down to the rubber tires on fire. Okay, these people will, if they get the inkling, they'll put it in gear. They'll travel thousands of miles. They'll throw a stake up on somebody's door. They'll mail horse shit in a carton, or as in the case here. They'll send 50 cases of Granger catalogs in a commercial delivery vehicle, with each case weighing about 130 pounds. They'll send you magazine subscriptions. They'll call your family. They'll post heinous shit on you. It's just the nature of the boy. They'll run background checks on you. And they'll share that information. Flap under for me. Yeah, I'm having a good Monday. I'm just putting this out there. Yeah, how you doing? How you doing, Tucker? I have a memory like a steel trap because I always enjoyed history. And as you know, Tucker, I don't take my hangouts down. If you want to see anything that happened on YouTube, you want to see things that people claim, go back and look at my archives. I was one of the early pioneers of live streaming. Okay, the stuff that could go over to YouTube just behind Drury. I inherited the mantle from Drury to do the chats. All right. I can't do that, honey. I'm so fat right now, I can't eat that ice cream. No, that's all right. Jen's trying to tempt me with a drumstick here. No, I'm just on the border of line between being luscious and being okay. So thank you. No, not for me. No, thank you, honey. No, thank you. Look at that thing waving there. Yeah, I don't care, Rosie, whatever the hell you. I don't even care. I don't, hipster. I have an iron will constitution. I can avoid. I want to get down a little bit.
I'll force feed you when you sleep.
I know you'll force feed me.
You won't even know that you have one.
Nice to see you, Tucker. By the way, Jen is going to make sure when I'm snoring that I'm still breathing. Right, the sleep apnea is the latest rage topic on here. So, like I said, I never, Tucker's here, and I'm glad you're doing good, Tucker. You look very healthy and everything. But that kind of behind-the-scenes stuff I never chose to get involved in. Only one time Tucker, Awesome Hooker, and I had a pretty serious conversation about things, and I think Tucker remembers it very well. Because we have a lot of the history in our heads and stuff. Tucker's the kind of guy that likes to kind of fact verify. I've learned this about him over the years. It's like you can tell him something, but it's going to go in one ear out the other unless he sees actual, physical or electronic proof or something, and then it's a different story. So we got together on a little fact-checking thing, but nothing ever really came of it. Because I think Tucker's like me that, until recently, the seas have gotten a little stormy for him, as they have with the Mallory situation. But I guess sooner or later things will calm down, or somebody's ship will go down, and the pirates or the military will be dancing on the deck, one or the other there. So, do I think that Dave will still be around? Do I think Dave will still be around? Yeah, I do. I think Dave has been dealt a very serious blow, and as many people with a sense of pride in themselves do, your initial instinct is to hit back hard, to get on video and show people, hey, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Well, this was a long-term marriage. And I think Dave was devastated by it myself. And I think he's coming to grips with that. But do I think Dave will still be in the community? Of course I do. I think that he will always be a part of the community here. Let's see. I don't know about grudge. Grudge. I don't know. I just felt kind of disheartened when I saw stickers and Becca together in a darkened RV. If I had to predict down the road, though, if you ask me, I don't think that'll have a lot of longevity. Okay. There may become a time when the bloom is off the rose in some dark evening, laying in bed there, wondering, did I really do the right thing here? It's going to be very hard to put that toothpaste back in the tube. Yeah, giving me a wrench. Yeah, I've always kind of been the odd person out at times in the community. I'm stupid that way, right? I'm stupid that way. But I am proud that Tucker's another one that can look at the things I do in life and say, Rosie, I don't agree with doing that. but he's not going to take it out on me personally because he knows what's in my heart. Okay, you can talk about views, you can talk about for money and all that stuff, but some things on YouTube far transcend money in life. Well, I'm not the smartest bulb and the sharpest, brightest bulb. Tucker will tell you that. Tucker used to troll me on Tribes Chat for 2 years. He was underground over there, right? Right, Dave? I never really knew if Dave, he's like, he rose above his kind of, I'm not sure about the whole transgender thing, but some days, Rosie, you're okay, and some days you're a real dick, you know. So it was kind of, it was kind of good times. Tucker and I go way back. But the bottom line for Tucker today is I'm extremely happy with where he is. He does have a second chance in life. It's kind of a two-way kind of street with Ty. If you're going to battle him, he's going to battle back. Okay, same with Mallory. If you're going to battle her, she's going to battle back. I don't know how everything's going to turn out, but I do know that everybody looks at that everybody that does look at Tucker, thanks God for great surgeons. And Tucker, I'm older than you are. God, I hate to admit that. No! Bart! I hate to admit it, Tucker. But you're, you're a good Joe. You got that second lease on life. And I think we're all really happy for you. The way that life has been. Like I say, we've gone back a long time on here. And at least when you disagree with me, you do have the courtesy to frame your argument in a logical way that can make sense to people. That is kind of a rare commodity. As for how other people you deal with them, that's on you. It's also on them. But I'm very appreciative of that. Hey, Weave, how you doing? Oh, thank you very much, Molly. Thank you for coming in. Yes, I'm the senior partner to Dave. But I know your family's thrilled. But Tucker, as I said, I'm older than you. And I still remember, I don't know whether it was 1964 or 1965, I can still remember it like it was yesterday. Watching Walter Cronkite on the CBS Evening News announce that in South Africa, Dr. Christian Barnard had performed the first heart transplant surgery. It's a pretty amazing memory. Oh, it's a stunning thing to be able to take a heart out of one person's body and put it into another person's body. That's a real miracle. Now you look, and I don't ever want to say anything's routine, but in the skilled hands of a heart surgeon like Tucker obviously had, he can expect many, many more years quality. You can see the quality. You can see it on his face as he fills out and looks dynamic. He looks great. And the ladies are lining up, Tucker. That's the bottom line. How you doing, Jurassic Pork Chop? Yeah, I'm older than you. I mean, I've been around for a long friggin' time. I just play young and bikini up, baby. So I want to just touch on if there's any more question, McFly. I hope that answered your. Question. You know, as far as Dave, I hope there's a day when he gets on an even keel and can realize that people can genuinely like him without the trappings of money and all that. I think you have a good sense of yourself if it doesn't come down to, if money is your leading wing in life, You know, if that's your leading point in life, then I think that you're going to have some problems in life. I really do. Number one, you're going to attract a lot of people that aren't very genuine to you. You're going to be heartbroken. You give donations to people and you may get kicked in the head. I mean, it's just going to be a fact of life. You'll be disappointed in life. No, I'm not going to go to the national parks. I'm scared as shit to go out in the country. I'm happier in the ghettos and the inner cities and all that. I'm very uncomfortable being out in the woods where some raccoon or chipmunk might molest me or something. I'm not going to be out in that environment. And I'll be the dummy that the grizzly bears, right? Take her. She's the plump one. Yeah, the one with the big tits over there. Grab her. Yeah, me in the woods, that's just not a concept. My campgrounds are the blacktop. That's where I am. That's where you can find here. Did you hear people go missing in national parks? I don't know if I've ever been in a national park. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been in a national park. You know, I go to the Muir Woods, the Armstrong Woods here with all the giant redwoods, and I get to shaking and rattling when I'm inside, standing next to the John Henry or whatever. It's like, what was that noise? Is there something moving over there? Let's get the hell out of here. All right. Yeah, van life update. Let's get into this kind of stuff. Let's go camping outside overnight. Honey, you can, Oda May, you can come into my van. And honey, I'll give you a night under the stars you'll never forget. Okay, other than that, you're not going to get me out on a campsite there. You got to watch for rabbit. There's all kinds of things. There's bugs. You know, there's weird people that could be wielding chainsaws in the park. I don't need, you know, you get wacko. Oh, yeah. Hey, asshole, you crossed over my property line. I'm sorry. No, man, you don't understand. I have to now take your life. It's like, whoa, okay. Good thing I didn't steal an apple off your tree. Yeah, I saw you do that too. I didn't, you know. Yeah, my luck, I'm going to be like something out of Deliverance, right? Yeah, well, let's get that image out of our mind really fast here, okay? I did, you know, I think I'll save that for last, but I am increasing my exercise. It is coming down to the dog days of summer here. Things are really hot. Do you think YouTube being liberal and totally full of crap this day and age? Do you think they would allow a ranting channel like I used to have, or would they ask me? I don't think they would ask you, Jimmy, because, and Jurassic Pork Chop, I don't think that they would ever ask you, because I don't ever think you got a strike on anything, because you're another person, Jurassic Pork Chop, that can say things without cursing, or you use a curse word in humor to do things. And quite frankly, Jurassic Pork Chop, you were known for your rants before anything else. I mean, I think that there's definitely a place for that, and I don't think YouTube squashes that type of thing. I think what they squash and try to determine what's fake news and what's, you never had a strike. Jimmy, I've had strikes at the wazoo. I've had channel terminated 5 times, and yet it's still here today. The same bloody channel. Okay. I know about strikes. All right. I've not had one in ages. There's nothing left. But I'm just saying, I really enjoyed your commentaries. You know, they were fun. You know, Cousin Julius or whatever. The last thing I want to talk about the van update is that for me, I had to go down and get I had to buy another laser cut key from the dealer. And then I had to take it down. I picked it up before the trip, and of course it doesn't work. It's got to be programmed into your vehicle. So I have to drop that down on Wednesday and pay $100 to have that tooted in. I tried every way I could. Every YouTube video I could watch, how to program your key, none of them worked. These dealers are smart. It's spy versus spy. It's always the car dealers versus you. So I have to fork over $113 to get that thing reprogrammed. Am I looking for a camper van? Yeah, I know you and those keys, and I never really lost them before. Hey, Alpha Wolf. But I want to just finish off with, I've gotten a lot of feedback, obviously. I did a video yesterday on, welcome to the Rancho, Marshall. P.S. Don't forget your work gloves. Look, we're not running some people were appalled. Some people are like, great. Can you start a chain gang out there in California, tar some of those roads in the Central Valley in 105-degree heat? Marshall's not going to be asked to do anything that I haven't done myself on this property. You guys have seen I've handled some enormous tree branches here. The things I'm going to ask are things that any able-bodied man should be able to do with no problem at all. Not on a daily, but, help out. Now, I know he has a lot of respect and a bit of fear about Missy Jenn. Missy Jenn, as many of you said, and I saw Tucker's stream and Colleen's stream last night, Missy Jenn's not one to be trifled with. Just because she's quiet doesn't mean that she doesn't have opinions about YouTube and that she doesn't have opinions about real life. And if she perceives any level of disrespect or anything here, which I don't think Marshall will do, he spent plenty of time with Missy Jenn before. And he's always been very respectful, pulls her chair out, helps push her wheelchair and things. He's very courteous to her. That's a minimum requirement around here. Because the one thing that nobody has ever seen on YouTube, and you don't ever want to see it, is when Missy Jenn loses her shit. I'll just leave it at that. It ain't a pretty sight. I've seen her take people down on the street before, okay? She's a big gal and she's not to be trifled with. And I think Marshall will get the message, and I think that he will do fine here. Just be a helpful person. Just be a helpful person. But I will reiterate, and some people have misinterpreted Joe King and some other people's, and for the record, I like Joe King. I don't like everything he says. But, he's concerned that while I'm traveling, Marshall's going to be here on the Rancho. My point is, I'm going to be traveling first and enjoying life, and when I'm either A, saturated in the travel in the short term and want to go home, or B, I'm going to be out there until Missy Jenn's infusion in October. And at that time, when Missy Jenn's all stabilized, then I can turn my attention to other things in life. But the holidays are coming up. As you guys know on the Rancho, Halloween is a big deal for us. We do a lot of stuff. We put up a lot of lights. Same thing with Christmas time, Thanksgiving. We love that period between particularly Thanksgiving and Christmas. We love that time period. Now, he's perfectly willing to be here and share a Christmas with us. I mean, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to rush to get cracking on this thing. You know what I'm saying? This has to fit around Missy Jenn's and my schedule. So I think some people thought, well, he'll be immediately heading up to the Rancho. No, he'll have an opportunity. Hey, Bully, how you doing? He'll have an opportunity to do a lot of content, boondock around LA. Very easy city to boondocking around LA. And we'll see how it works out in San Diego. But I got to be here when he's here, and I got to be, I can't leave it to Missy Jenn, and I'm out traveling and having the time of my life and she's hosting him here on the ranch. It's not going to work that way. Now, to his credit, I think that Marshall understands that I have worked 46 years to get to the point where I can sort of push myself up a little bit in the priority thing. I think he understands that. Now, as far as the van build-out is concerned, I'm going to have a separate stream. Back in February, I did a stream. It was called If Elisa Marie Was Mine, This Is What I Would Do to Renovate It. I guess it's on me. Maybe I planted the seed. Guilty. But sometimes I have a flight of fantasy, and I think about, what if I had that van? What would I do? And I developed a whole 2-page work order on that with costs and expenses. Okay. I'm going to go over that again, but you know, it's going to be like a Chinese menu. You could probably have to choose the A build, the B build, or the C build, depending on the money you bring to the table. Okay. I don't do fundies anymore. Tucker will tell you, and other people know me for years. Most every time I did a fundraiser thing for people, yeah, I got the money quick, and a lot of it. I think I was probably one of the most effective fundraisers on a short period of time. But you know what? Most shit blew up in my face. Because people didn't do what they said they would do. People scammed. People lied. People disappointed. And I decided I would never do... Because, you know, I'd go out and contact people. You don't just have... If you're smart and you're organized, and you're doing a public GoFundMe night or something like that, if you're smart, you reach out to people ahead of time, significant people in the community, and you buttonhole them a little bit. You get there, it's okay, I'll put me down for that. And then by the time the event comes, it's all just perfunctory at that point. You know, and it's a success. But they've been nothing but disappointment for me. How you doing, Tasha? How you doing, sweetie? Nice to see you. So I don't do that anymore. So that's, you know, you're the great communicator. You're the guy with the, you know, the 4 million views and all that. I think that you can reasonably handle that. Okay. I don't do that department of financing. I'm engineering and construction only. Demolition, engineering, and construction. You know, I'm used to that. Monkey Boy says, what about Zia with his clothes off on the Knowledge Channel? It's more shock stuff. There was no penis exhibited on that. Okay. He knows better than that. But I would question more if you know he's in your green room and popped up your link. Why in the hell would you have him on panel? Why in the hell? And I love Holly. I'm making Holly's batshit crazy brownies this Friday night for teeny weeny bikini baking. Okay. Holly Undead's batshit crazy brownies. But why in the heck would you ever put him on your panel? Because you know what it's going to be. It's going to be like Howard Stern shock radio. But there was nothing in that that violated YouTube's terms and conditions on there. So I did see that. Yeah. I'm not blaming Holly, Darth. I'm saying, why would you put the way the community... I'm not blaming Holly. I'm saying you got to know the risk that you run when you extend a link and approve somebody to come into your chat, Darth. Nobody's blaming Holly. Holly's been kicking around this community for months. She knows what goes on. Okay? Nobody's blaming anybody. I like the way you just jump down to the lowest common denominator of an argument. You can never hit the middle ground of something. It's always like, oh, blaming Holly. I'm not blaming Holly. But why should we be surprised, those that have seen his antics for years? Why would I be surprised? I mean, did you expect him to come on dressed as Martha Stewart with a cake for Holly with bats on it or something? I didn't. And Holly knows the way I feel about her. So that's that. You know. Yeah, she was fun. She never missed stride. Did Marshall get a ticket for things being wrong with his van? He cannot drive unless it's in the mechanic shop. I really have no idea. I really have no idea. I've not talked to him in several days, Jurassic Pork Chop, about what's going on. Evidently, I don't know. You know, to me, it's life on the run. It's, by the time he gets finished in Southern California, that thing will be chugging up to the Rancho like something out of the Beverly Hillbillies, will be my guess. Steaming along at about 35 miles an hour on I-5. Okay? That thing needs some really serious work. Yeah, I'm saying that you cannot be surprised when somebody comes off. Yeah, so it's stuff that has to be fixed. Maybe it'll be minor. I don't know. I'm not sure. How you doing, Joey D? So it's been about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. No, I think the motor is fine on it. The motor and the transmission are about, yeah, it's going to be the real test, Jurassic Pork Chop. If you're going to blow a head gasket, it's going to be on that pass from Yuma to San Diego. As I told you before, on my journey with Missy Jenn, 7,633 mile journey, I never expected to encounter what I did going into San Diego. It was the most wretched part of the drive. And I went over the Rockies, live streamed right over through the Eisenhower Tunnel. Sierras, Wasatch, I never saw anything like that pass going over to San Diego. If you make it over there, well, you still got to climb the Grapevine, which is the winding road that goes out of LA over the top and into the Central Valley. It's a brutal road. It's closed because of inclement weather sometimes in wintertime. There's trucks overheated and burning up, brakes on fire. It's almost like a scene out of Mad Max when you come down there sometimes. Better make sure your brakes are good to go. And I really worry about studs on wheels. There's a reason that they put 5 studs on a wheel and not 3. For the distribution of stress when you corner or you turn. Without benefit of 5 studs with equally able to take the stress, you could have a catastrophic accident running 3 studs instead of 5. Okay, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah, the Grapevine ain't no picnic down there either. Okay, I mean, it's always a torturous trip into California. That's why so many pioneers died coming west, because after they'd been starved to death, dehydrated, 3/4 dead, the Sierras just finished them off. Okay, that was the death knell. The studio is one issue he needs to fix, but yeah, I mean, that's just a basic safety tenet. When engineers sit in a design studio in Detroit, you have people that are called mechanical engineers. And I took mechanical engineering course, mechanics in high school, and it's not the turning a wrench mechanic. It's summation of forces, IJK vectors, things like that. Stresses, computing stress under load of weight points, and how much will fatigue set in. And the reason that they designed 5 lugs is if you're only running on 3 and you're cornering, you're putting a lot of stress on the remaining 3 studs. And it's a very hazardous situation, okay? So that's my biggest fear of that. And I'm going to close out. I want to say, Jurassic Pork Chop, I'm really honored to see you in here. It is my wish that my hope that you start doing some of that great content that was a hallmark of yours. I hope Bobby's doing good too, and you guys are doing good in Colorado. I'm always happy to see one of the greatest communicators, one of the greatest raconteurs, and I know Jimmy didn't even know I was talking about him one night, but he was there, he heard me. One of the most entertaining people I ever met on YouTube, period. Okay? Take it from me, a Baltimore gal, you know. All right, let's wrap it up on the way out with the great and storied Baltimore Clippers fight song once again. Here we go, guys. Get ready. Come on, man. It's a long play.
When you Baltimore Clippers,
Monique.
when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers.
Bye, Monkey Boy.
Fight for Baltimore score. Defensemen, forwards, and goalies. We'll win without a doubt. For Baltimore and Maryland,
Get ready, everybody.
every Clipper fan will shout, fight, fight, fight. When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers, and score, score.
Take it up a half step. Man, we go crazy in the seats. We're throwing drinks and shit on popcorn, hot dogs on the ice, people, everything we can grab. Every time those Clippers scored a goal, baby. That Civic Center was rocking. Joe Smith, you remember, honey. Check it in. That'd be cool, baby. Y'all have a wonderful day. Let's get ready for that big finish now. Get ready.
When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers, and score, score, score.
Boom. Thanks, everybody.